This is the story of Forgotten, a Korean mystery thriller about a young man named Jin-seok. After moving into a new home with his family, his brother is suddenly kidnapped and then returns weeks later acting like a completely different person. As Jin-seok tries to uncover what really happened, he finds himself caught in a twisting web of secrets, paranoia, and shocking discoveries. So, let's dive straight in. The screen is dark, filled with the sound of panicked crying. A voice pleads with unseen captors, claiming not to remember something. Then suddenly, Jin-seok wakes up with a start in the back seat of his family's car. His mother leans over, concerned, asking if he is all right, while his father laughs, brushing it off as a nightmare. His older brother, Yoo-seok, chuckles softly, teasing him for being overly excited about moving into their new house, and he tries to smile along. Arriving at the new house, Jin-seok carries a strange sense of familiarity, a feeling he cannot fully place. Despite this, he is excited for the move. Standing beside his older brother, he watches Yoo-seok with quiet admiration. Yoo-seok is everything a younger sibling might envy: intelligent, kind, athletic, and seemingly incapable of harboring ill will toward anyone. Even the accident the previous year, a car crash that left his leg injured, has not diminished the perfect image Jin-seok holds of him. As the family begins unpacking, Jin-seok learns he will be sharing a room with Yoo-seok. The previous owner of the house left some belongings in a small room and plans to return in a month to collect them. This leaves just one room for the two brothers. Yoo-seok teases him, guessing he might not want to share a room, but Jin-seok insists he does not mind. He loves his brother too much to care. That night, over dinner, their father mentions the spare room again, warning Jin-seok not to enter it under any circumstances. This piques Jin-seok's curiosity. Later, while looking toward the room, he hears a faint thud. No one else seems to notice. He brushes it off, thinking perhaps it was thunder, and soon more rumbles confirm the storm outside. During dinner, his parents remind him to continue taking his medication, and he nods obediently. Later that night, as Yoo-seok sleeps soundly, Jin-seok listens to music in his Discman, the faint noise of the storm mingling with the melodies. A subtle rustling comes from the small room. Against his better judgment, he is drawn toward it. Each step closer heightens his anxiety. The sound grows, shifting, whispering of movement beyond the door. As he reaches for the handle, Yoo-seok taps him on the shoulder, startling him. He tries to explain the noise, but Yoo-seok hears nothing and gently drags him outside for a walk, umbrellas shielding them from the pouring rain. As they stand over the city, Yoo-seok's phone rings. Their father calls, requesting Yoo-seok return home briefly, leaving Jin-seok behind. Watching his brother walk away, he feels a fleeting sense of relief, unaware of the danger lurking outside. Moments later, Yoo-seok is attacked by men in a black van. Jin-seok notices and gives chase, but is too late. He memorizes the license plate and stumbles back inside, breathless, telling his parents what he saw before passing out. While unconscious, bizarre visions plague him: blood, axes, rain, and voices demanding death. When he finally awakens, he recounts the abduction to the detectives, giving them the license plate, only to have them dismiss it. They claim neither the van nor the plate exists, suggesting he misread it or imagined the whole event. Each night brings dreams of a mysterious man who keeps visiting, shadowed and unfamiliar, stirring dread he cannot shake. One night, he awakens to find the door to the small room slightly ajar. A dark figure creeps out and moves towards his room. He hides under the covers and waits for his demise, but nothing happens. He cautiously peeks and finds the room empty, the door closed, leaving him to question his own mind. Later, he dreams of a demon-like woman attacking him, and he wakes, drenched in sweat. 19 days pass before Yoo-seok returns. He claims total amnesia, remembering nothing of the abduction. A psychiatrist explains it as a normal response to trauma, assuring them that memories will eventually resurface. Jin-seok wakes one night to see his brother leaving the house, but dismisses it, assuming Yoo-seok will return. The next morning, Yoo-seok is back, and the house resumes its fragile normalcy. Over breakfast, Jin-seok notices something odd. His brother's limp has shifted to the opposite leg. When confronted, Yoo-seok laughs it off, dismissing Jin-seok's concern and insisting he is imagining things. Trying to focus, Jin-seok studies diligently, though exhaustion eventually overwhelms him. He falls asleep at his desk, head resting on his arms. Yoo-seok hovers over him, idly clicking a pencil, pushing the lead closer to Jin-seok's closed eye before letting it fall harmlessly to the floor. Then without a word, Yoo-seok leaves. Jin-seok opens his eyes and it's revealed that he was awake the whole time. He watches Yoo-seok leave, and curiosity compels him to follow. He observes Yoo-seok moving through town, and at first everything seems normal, but soon the scene shifts. They arrive at a quiet part of the city where the two detectives appear, addressing Yoo-seok as boss. Confused and frightened, Jin-seok watches as they speak together, their conversation cryptic, their intentions unclear. When he attempts to leave, the detectives confront him, hurling insults and chasing him. Jin-seok ran through the streets. It seemed as if he might lose his pursuers when, suddenly, his brother appeared behind him. Before he could react, a cloth pressed against his face, and the world went black. He woke the next morning at the kitchen table where he had collapsed, panic taking hold as he realized he was back in his room. Yoo-seok appeared, and instinctively, Jin-seok bolted to the bathroom, locking himself in, his chest heaving as he tried to make sense of the previous night. He confronted his brother, demanding answers. Yoo-seok insisted he was telling the truth, and that Jin-seok must have dreamed it all. Anger and frustration erupted into a violent struggle between the two. The fight ended only when Yoo-seok reminded him that he had skipped his medication the day before, causing the dreams to feel so real. Confused and overwhelmed, Jin-seok finally relented, swallowing his fear and anger, and took his medication under his brother's watchful eye. With Yoo-seok gone, Jin-seok tried to study, attempting to reclaim some sense of normalcy. That's when he noticed the pencil lead Yoo-seok had pushed out the night before, lying on the desk. It was proof that what he had witnessed wasn't imagined. Fear mingled with frustration, and he told his mother everything. She listened, pale and trembling, unsure whether to trust her son's account. Jin-seok insisted that whoever he had seen the previous night was not his brother. A noise from the small room pulled him again. Gripping a baseball bat, he crept toward it. The door opened to a familiar, normal room, furniture packed and ready to be collected. Relief barely had time to settle when he turned a corner and froze. There, hanging from the ceiling, was his brother, lifeless. Shock ripped through him, and before he could process it, he woke up in his bed. It had been another dream, yet it felt painfully real. Downstairs, he overheard his mother on the phone, speaking urgently, recounting everything Jin-seok had told her. The conversation confirmed his suspicions. Something strange was going on with Yoo-seok. He made a noise, alerting his mother, who rushed to the room. Panicked, Jin-seok dashed outside, climbing the side of the house in the rain, slippery and cold, trying to return to his room before she could check. Somehow, he managed to slip inside, soaked, but unnoticed. Once his mother left, believing him asleep, he climbed out the window again, intent on escaping. Outside, he was confronted by his father, his mother, and a strange man who had appeared without warning. They demanded he come back inside. Panic fueled his legs, and he ran for his life. The stranger chased him through the streets, almost catching him until a motorbike rider intervened, allowing Jin-seok to reach a police car. Inside the station, reality twisted further. Even as he tried to explain the chaos, the officers confirmed his identity, but delivered a shocking truth. It was 2017. He was not 20 anymore. He was 40. Confused and terrified, Jin-seok saw it in the mirror. His reflection was middle-aged, older than he had ever imagined. Returning home, he found the house empty. Upstairs, the spare room was transformed into a horrific scene. Fake blood splattered. Two dummies positioned like crime victims. Yoo-seok and their parents arrived, and Jin-seok demanded answers. Slowly, the truth unfolded. 20 years ago, a brutal murder had occurred in this house. In that small room, it had gripped the nation, but the killer had never been found. 16 years later, the family had hired Yoo-seok as a private investigator to track down the murderer, who, they believed, was Jin-seok himself. The problem was that he could not remember committing the crime. In a desperate attempt to recover his memories, they had orchestrated an elaborate brainwashing. They made him believe it was 1997, that he was moving into the murder house with his family. The plan was to reenact the murder, hoping it would unlock his memories. That night, Yoo-seok was arrested for unrelated reasons, and Jin-seok witnessed the event, forcing them to adjust the plan. Jin-seok tried to flee from those controlling him, but tragedy struck. As he ran through traffic, the chaos led to a crash that killed the parents and injured Yoo-seok. Jin-seok is also hit by a car, and all his memories come flushing back. 20 years ago, he was in a car accident with his family. His parents died, and his brother got injured badly. Surgery for his brother was urgent, yet he had no money, no education, and no one willing to employ him. One night, while searching for work online, a stranger appeared, offering him the money he desperately needed in exchange for committing murder. The target was a woman, and her children were to remain unharmed. Jin-seok, driven by desperation, snuck into the woman's house. He hesitated, unable to follow through. Panic erupted when the daughter saw him and screamed. In the chaos, he accidentally killed her. The mother arrived, screaming, and he killed her as well. Only the infant survived, and Jin-seok instructed him to retreat and count from 1 to 110, promising the child that this act would somehow bring back the mother and sister. It turns out that the man who hired Jin-seok was the woman's husband, and also his brother's doctor. Jin-seok confronted him on a rooftop and asked him the reason to kill his wife. The doctor says that he wanted the insurance money. They get into a fight, and Jin-seok accidentally throws the doctor to his death. Haunted and broken, he fled once more. Back in the present, Jin-seok awoke in a hospital. His fake brother loomed over him, furious that Jin-seok had once again escaped. Holding a needle filled with poison, he was ready to end Jin-seok's life. Finally, Jin-seok admitted he remembered everything. The fake brother revealed the truth. He was the child Jin-seok had left alive years ago, his life ruined as a result of Jin-seok's actions. Relatives had taken the insurance money, and the boy was sent to an orphanage. The fake brother demanded to know if Jin-seok had acted under his father's orders. Jin-seok lied, claiming he had acted alone. He refused to explain why he had spared the child, leaving the boy to endure a terrible world. Distraught and overwhelmed, the fake brother threw himself from the window. Unable to bear the weight of the pain and guilt, Jin-seok used the same needle to take his own life. A final flashback revealed the origin of it all. On the day of the family accident, Jin-seok had met the boy as a child, never knowing how profoundly that encounter would shape the rest of his life.